Hey everyone, welcome back to Distillation Unknown. And today, Dr. Mike has joined us at the bar.
I'm here at the bar.
Yes.
Thanks for being here, buddy.
Thank you, bro.
Now, one of the questions we get asked all the time is how do we find all the unique spirits with all the good stories?
Right.
And the answer is actually pretty simple. We just go out and look.
That's right.
In fact, one of the best places to go and look is your local liquor store.
That's right. But another way to find them is when you're on vacation. And didn't you just go somewhere, dude?
I did. I went with the family up to the San Juan Islands just north of Seattle, Washington. The San Juan Islands are a stunning cluster of over 400 glacier-carved islands and rocks nestled between Vancouver and Washington. They're a haven for diverse wildlife, and they're one of the best places to spot orcas in the wild.
Don't know if you can see that, guys. That's orcas. This is so cool.
The second largest but most populated island, San Juan, is where I discovered something special. So we just got into Roche Harbor in the northwest corner of San Juan Island and went into the local liquor store and asked if they had any local distilleries. Just so happens there's one about a half-mile's walk from here called the San Juan Island Distillery. San Juan Island Distillery is actually run by professors turned brandy buffs, Susie and Hawk. Now, they've always wanted to make these award-winning brandies, and they've added a few more varietals along the way.
The point is we're having fun.
That looked like a good time, man.
It was.
And the orcas?
Dude, there's nothing like seeing orcas
Really?
in the wild, just swimming just right off your boat. Kind of scary sometimes, though, too.
Well,
they're big.
Yeah, they're huge.
Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
they smell fishy? Do they have like a fishy smell?
If they were fish,
Well, they're mammals.
No, but they eat fish, so they got
like,
fish breath.
They burp. They might get a get like a.
they live with fish.
You do have to watch out for the orca burp.
Mike. They live with fish, thus they probably smell like
Yeah.
fish. Very oceanic,
Yes.
kind of a thing. We've taken enough of your time. Let's move on. What did you bring us from San Juan? I'm pretty
So
excited.
I brought back
Yes.
a beautiful apple brandy that they make there.
Ooh.
We love this walk around here that's a 3-mile circle that takes us past the apple orchard that our partner has. And he was making hard cider with those apples. It's the second oldest cider works in the state. And we would walk by his orchard and admire how beautiful it was and say to ourselves,
Why the hell doesn't he make apple brandy with those great apples? And then we heard he was trying to sell the business.
So we bought half the business in 2010 because we wanted to make apple brandy. That was our goal.
Look at that. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Look at that. Oh, I'm excited.
Drinking out of the snifters.
All right, guys. So, cheers.
I'm excited. Oh, we cheers?
Cheers.
Oh, yeah. What else are we going to do? Drink it?
Well, you said we just have to smell it first. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot.
Oh, well, the other episode we did was the Armenian brandy, so I'm learning the shaky of the stifter,
Oh yeah.
Okay.
The swirlies.
the swirlies.
Like wine, like any spirit.
Right.
Let it breathe.
Releases
Let it open up.
Okay, so let it breathe with me. Did you chase it yet?
No.
Were you giving it mouth to mouth?
It was like you're giving it CPR. Yeah.
Somebody who loves brandy's going, I can't believe he just did that. Oh, I taste apples.
Yeah. You get that apple.
Do you taste the apple, Mike?
Yeah, I get apples too. I get like
Yeah.
a tart, like a green apple. Like a green apple.
You know, it doesn't burn like the Armenian did a little bit. That warmth.
The warmth of it.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think this is one
What
of
was
those.
the Armenian brandy? Arat?
Ararat,
yeah.
yeah. I don't think this brandy is the brandy that the big St. Bernard's running with the barrel. You know.
How they revived the frozen skiers.
Yeah, remember that?
Yeah, all the medicine that we've ever needed was from Bugs Bunny. Yes.
Oh my God.
It's
Yes.
ridiculous. Brandy from 700 years ago, right? When the monks first produced alcohol out of apples and produced, maybe brandy, whatever it was. Whatever they produced.
They didn't know how to call it. They didn't call it brandy. They didn't know.
For hundreds of years, brandy in particular has been well accepted in the medical community, at least up
Really?
until about the beginning of the 20th century, first half, like 1950, as having significant healing properties, from resuscitating people who are unconscious and inducing cardiac contractions, waking people up from fainting. Of course, the basic alcohol. I'll go back to that. Of course, the alcohol with anesthesia and antiseptic properties that alcohol does, right?
Right.
It cleans your wounds.
Right, well, yeah.
It takes away your pain and your suffering.
Well, it definitely takes away pain.
Yeah.
But-
definitely takes away suffering.
But I mean, there were medical journals in the Lancet that's been around, the oldest medical journal in the world,
Right.
1830s or something like that.
Yeah.
In the late 1800s, they were talking about the medicinal benefits of brandy, in particular, being much more beneficial and helping people who need to be resuscitated. There were many witnesses and studies about people who were unconscious that were given brandy and woke right up.
So, I mean, was this real?
Well, look. The whole idea that, they were given brandy and woke up. I mean, this was in the journals. It's wild.
Right.
And obviously, that wasn't long enough, for the brandy, waking them up. But you might stimulate a neurological response that wakes them up.
So what would that relate to the soldiers then? And the reason I brought that up, at the back of the Revolutionary War, the first brandy distiller in America, Robert Laird, actually was commissioned by Washington to give them brandy.
Oh, that's interesting.
Totally makes sense, doesn't it?
Right.
It's interesting.
I think so.
Well, because they used and relied on spirits in wartime, especially back then.
Right.
At the time, Washington was really big on rum.
Right.
But the problem is that the rum came from the British Isles.
Yes. And who are we fighting?
Who are we fighting? The British.
British.
So you think they're going to give us the brandy?
They're not
They're
giving
not
us the
giving us the
brandy.
brandy.
They're not even giving us
Or they're not
tea.
going to give us the rum. I'm sorry.
Rum.
I said
they're not going to give us the rum.
rum.
Right. So we had to make brandy, I guess.
So we used the brandy to kind of take the place of the rum in the battlefield. And correct me if I'm wrong, but it was like anesthesia and...
Well, I think a lot. One, if you're out in the field, or you have an antiseptic at all times. If you have wounds, my gut, the cynical part of me. I don't think there's too much of a cynical part of me, but the cynical part of me tells me that if you want to manipulate a group of men, get them drunk.
Right, get them drunk, right.
As my wife would say, the definition of being intoxicated is poor judgment. Period. Right? So let's go back, because you brought me to a certain place medically that I think is important to talk about.
Right.
Well, back in the day, and once again the journals talk about this, that brandy was given intravenously.
What?
Yes. And there's some journals that talk about giving intravenously with warm saline for a woman that had an ectopic pregnancy.
Okay.
It's just getting going. It's just getting started.
But isn't that gonna, like, when you put like something like that in your veins, isn't that gonna like?
It's going to be pretty harsh, based on the alcohol.
Well, if
content, and
it
get
burns
you
going
totally
down when you swallow, imagine how bad it's going to burn when you...
But even more so, just like everything else in history, like tobacco they thought was good, it will stimulate the heart, wake people up. I'm going to give you some more stuff here. It's interesting. Along the River Thames in London, they used to put bellows, that they would use to push the smoke into their lungs because they thought it would help them, resuscitate. However, the term blowing smoke up your ass, right? That whole idea of blowing smoke up your ass said, hey, well, if it's good enough for the lungs.
Wait a minute.
You
I
understand?
knew you were gonna go there as soon as you said the lung thing.
I don't make this up.
bring it back around.
They did that. You could find pictures right here
Oh my.
of blowing smoke up your ass.
Oh my God.
However, the brandy not only went in the veins, but it was intrarectally as well.
And that's the show. No, I'm just joking. I've said a lot of audience know. I hope you're learning as much as we are from the doctor. I know we haven't talked much about the distillery or this actual brandy. Thanks for being my...
No, look. many medical benefits, supposed benefits.
You're switching to like, no, seriously though, I'm gonna go.
Look. Totally, look.
I'm gonna pour some more brandy
No, I need more.
over this. Oh my God.
I can't handle the truth.
We'll pull it back to what, you know,
Please pull it
fucking-
back. Please pull it back from the rectal brandy.
Okay. It's very true, though. It's out there.
Well, I know it's out there because I know you don't. You're not gonna sit here and bullshit.
I'm not going to blow smoke up.
But I can't believe we started with apple brandy from San Juan.
You let me run with the medical. What else am I going to do?
Oh my
Okay.
God.
right.
My God. Okay, so go ahead. Finish your dissertation. I think the audience is hanging on. They really want to hear.
They're like, I don't know if I want to stop or keep going, but it's like a train wreck, but it's really interesting.
I'm seeing blood and guts, but gee, mini Christmas. How are they going to get out of this one?
Hey, we're not live. Chop it up, man. Chop it up. No, look, for hundreds of years, medical practitioners have been doing a lot of weird shit.
You think?
Yeah, right. We were bleeding people. Here I go again.
I know what's going on.
Let me kind of bring it back. Can I do?
I was going to say, bring it back to Brandon anytime you want.
Okay. I don't know. I'm going to see where it goes.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
All right. So there are some truths in here about the medical benefits of brandy.
Let's get to that. Nice segue.
Okay, good. I got so
We
much.
love you, Dr. Mike. We love you. And I'll tell you what, I probably learned more about medicine than I did about this brandy on so far. No, you joined Distillation Unknown if you've just joined us. Thank you for your medical knowledge once again.
Like in a waste field. Yeah, you call it. Yeah.
So, Landon, the apple brandy. I feel like weird getting back to the apple brandy right now. But let's go back to why the show is what it is.
Please, can we get back to the apple brandy?
We'll get back to it. So, what is the process that they're doing with this? Because I mean, they got the apples.
Yep.
They're making the brandy.
So they're making the cider,
Yeah.
right? They're taking the cider that they were making already, but now they're distilling it, right? And
Okay, so it starts with cider.
yeah,
When you're making apple brandy, the most efficient way to do it is a 4-run cycle where you put the tails, the undesirable alcohols, back in for your second run, and your third run and your fourth run, and finally you have to discard them or save them for later. The first and second runs are going to be the most intensely apple, so they're best suited for aging for brandy. The third and fourth have much less apple character, but they're still very fruity and quite good alcohol. Gin.
So this brandy has to be aged. Is that what? Is that
yeah,
right?
yeah. Well, so this brandy is aged, but not all brandy has to be aged. In fact, some brandies are, they distill it and they put it right into the bottle.
Oh.
So a lot of brandies, so like the pears and the peaches and things like that are kind of like a softer, more mellow flavor, tend to not be aged. However, brandies made from grapes, so especially like cognac,
Right,
so like the
right,
Ararat, which may or may not be cognac,
Right, the French cognac.
and apple brandies tend to be aged.
Okay, so if you walk in a store and you see an apple brandy, you know that's been
Usually
that's been
it's aged. Yeah.
Okay, and then is it also a color? Like, is it color?
I mean, and that's got that color kind of like whiskey does, like from the barrel. So it's getting that color.
It gets
from
more
the barrel.
concentrated, more distilled,
Right,
more.
So the
And
other
it's
stuff
pulling
goes
that from the char to the
All right,
barrel.
so the
yeah.
other stuff goes straight to the bottle, which is more of a clear brandy. So when you see a clear brandy, it's probably not distilled. But this brandy, if it's darker, is distilled. And aged. Sorry, aged. That is a mess up on my part. Yeah, aged. So and that makes sense because like a whiskey is aged, right? So it takes time.
Yeah. So they actually talked about this.
Everybody needs to make something besides their thing that needs to age. Because apple brandy, it takes 3 years to age at least. You can't sell it right away. So usually whiskey makers will also do a vodka or a gin because it's ready right away.
Yeah.
And that, we did that too.
So they made a gin from this brandy right here,
Yeah,
this
from
apple
the
brandy.
parts they did not use the parts that didn't go into the barrel,
Yeah.
they made a gin from.
Totally
They
recycled.
made
Yes.
this
Oh!
gin from it.
Nice. Look at that. You know,
Look at that.
what's really cool about this one, I saw you pull it down, is the Orca, because you had that
Yeah.
in one of your shots from before.
And spy hopping, actually,
Right.
the name of it, when the orcas come up out of the water and look,
Right.
it's called spy hopping. I didn't know that
didn't know
until I saw that and I asked about what's the name, you know, what's the deal with the label, and they told me all about the
Wow.
spy
Well, let's
hopping.
try. I want
Yeah.
to try this. Mike, you in?
Yeah. You know, I went whale watching once up in Washington State.
Yeah?
Yeah, you know how many whales I saw? Fucking nothing. Nothing. They didn't come up.
They didn't come up for you.
You know what? You know why? They knew you were going to talk about medical.
That you were going to try to blow smoke.
Yeah, blow smoke up their
I'm sure they did.
blowhole. You were going to blow smoke up their blowhole.
That's not how it goes.
There's
Chris.
got to be some medicinal benefit to that. Okay, so I want to say this real quick. You made a big stink on on our.
It's
Song
ironic
Kai.
that I brought it
I
back
know.
gin,
I
isn't
know.
it?
You did a big stink on our Sung Kai
Yeah.
Vietnamese gin
did.
episode about how much you hate gin. You are a huge gin fan.
I am. Uh-oh.
I'm not.
So gin is like the cilantro of booze.
So do you like cilantro?
I do.
Okay, see, I don't.
You like gin? Is that what it is?
I did after I tried the boodles.
Oh, right. Right. We
Yeah,
gave him
that
some of
was-
the boodles. That was nice.
yeah.
So we're gonna see if this is like a nice gin or if it's gonna be too much, right?
I'm ready to explore something new.
All right, let's try it. I'm gonna take a. Oh my God.
That's pretty
But
good.
you know what?
What?
I don't smell that juniper.
No, I don't smell
I
it
don't
either.
smell the juniper.
Because that's what gets me all the time. the
Yeah.
juniper. Let's take a taste. Oh, that is a really. I mean, honestly, that is a really nice gin. What do you taste? Raspberries.
Raspberries. That's really
Okay, maybe, yeah, I could
Yeah,
say,
I
but like,
can do a little bit of it.
I did the old, mind trick, but
Yeah,
I
but-
think I tasted it.
I'll be honest with you guys. I mean, this is
wow.
this is a really nice gin. It's got a nice sweet finish.
Yeah.
This would be this is really nice, and I can somehow find that brandy.
Yeah. Yeah, there's something in the
there,
smell.
Yeah. Oh, I happen to have some here.
Yeah, that's true. That's
But I don't get
There's
the
some overlap.
juniper. I don't get that juniper. I don't get
no,
that
no.
like super ginny thing.
No.
And one of the things they talked about is that it's a mellow, complex
it is.
gin.
Yeah, you
And
just
I'm
want
getting
to
that.
sip this
Yeah, it's nice.
neat. You know, this is like one of those real neat kind of sipping situations. After we did the episode on gin, I found out why they became such a gin country.
Why, Chris?
Oh,
Why?
Thank you for the tell. Thank you for the toss. I'm going to tell them. There was a ban in the late 1600s, early 1700s, where they the French was about brandy. Again, with like the America and the British Isles with rum. It was the same thing with England and the French. So they were putting a high tariff on the French brandy, and they were at some points banning the French brandy because they were always at war and always a problem. So they started making gin, and it became like in thousands of gin shops happened in the late 1600s, early 1700s.
Because they couldn't get the French brandy.
Because they couldn't, and if they did, it was super expensive, and it caused what they called the gin craze. If you look up the gin craze, that's what it was called. So essentially, England became popular for gin because of that.
Because they did away with
yeah.
the French brandy,
Yeah.
and the English said, "We'll
Yeah.
make the gin."
But you know what's great? This is amazing though. I'm so impressed actually with San Juan Distillery with the brandy. It was a great brandy and it was a great gin. You guys want to put a rock in it?
Yeah, actually, they said they sometimes, like, instead of a cocktail, they just sip this over ice.
Okay.
So I think let's try it over
Try it over ice.
See what happens.
Let's do it. Okay, so here we are. We got a giant rock in this glass.
Yeah.
Click, 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 click. And I've kept the brandy out. I wanted to kind of see what was happening, as soon as it changes. But
Ooh, hold on.
what? I don't smell juniper at all.
No, I don't smell juniper, but I'm starting to smell some of the botanicals. There's more botanically.
What's the deal? I mean, like, what are they importing the botanicals for this?
Almost everything we do, we try to do locally. So we forage most of the botanicals in our gin, some of which we grow. So like right now, our seasonal is elderflower gin.
which is the flowers from the tree in our front yard.
Yeah.
Or the thimbleberries. I pick thimbleberries everywhere I can find them around the island. We make thimbleberry gin.
This is the smell of the San Juan Island.
So this is what you taught me. The word was terroir, the French word.
Right.
I didn't know how to say it, but yes, thank you for figuring that out.
But
Because I was
French,
butchering
I don't
it.
know. But from the ground,
From the ground.
region,
Yeah, from the land,
the
yeah.
region, the
Yeah.
climate, the soil.
I think I smell an orca. I
Oh,
don't
really?
smell an orca.
Really?
I'm joking. It does make it more complex. However, I don't feel like I'm drinking a typical gin.
No.
Like it's like the boodles what we did in that episode in the Sun Kai. It's,
Yeah.
I think the thing is like when you're just drinking like, and I'm not putting down the brand gins, please. I'm not a fan of those.
No.
But this is not like that.
No.
And so maybe some people really like that juniper. You may be like wanting that in this, but I think that if you're not a big gin fan
Right.
or you're an average gin drinker, this is really good.
This is as good as like Boodles was excellent neat,
Right.
and this one is improved
Right.
on the rocks.
Yeah, I liked it both ways, and I don't like gins. Again, I'm like all of a sudden, you know what I'm starting to realize, or maybe realize is there's something about the craft gins that
That's it.
I'm really liking.
That's it.
They actually talked about that, and they said because they were such a small, and they have such a small still, but they do such small batches that they are able to try things out, and if it doesn't turn out, well, they didn't lose,
Right.
hundreds of gallons of something.
Right.
Like they can actually afford to try new things out, and that was one of the things that they talked about. I mean, they have anywhere between 10 and 14 different flavors of gin at any given time.
really?
This is just one of like 14.
So wait a minute. So
That's wild,
but this
man.
one,
Right?
But
That
this
is
one's
wild.
distilled from
the apples. Yeah, so
But
they
the
have
other
4 gins that are distilled from the apple brandy tails.
Yeah.
And then the rest of them, they actually use like a neutral grain.
Right. What's what's their favorite? I mean, because they have a brandy, they have a gin. Like, what's their favorite in there?
So there's a little bit of a discussion, if you will, between the two of them. It occurred over a third spirit.
Third spirit.
Oh no.
They make a whiskey
What?
out of a German Dunkelweizen.
Wait, they made a whiskey out of a beer?
Out of a beer. Yeah. Yeah, because,
Hold on, they made a quote
well,
whiskey.
So that's another interesting fact
Yeah.
as to whether or not it can be called
Yeah.
whiskey, and they talk all about that. Unfortunately, that's going to have to wait for another episode because we can't do that all in this one.
Pulling rank on me. Dr. Mike's
Left
like
him hanging.
salivating. He's
He's
like,
like,
he
"Ah,
wants
I
to
wanna
dip
do
into
it.
that."
Can we do it?
All right, so we're going to do a part 2.
We got to do a
San
part
Juan.
2.
All right, so if you enjoy exploring spirits as much as we do, join us on Distillation Unknown. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and we learned, click the bell.
Click the bell. He told us all about
This
the
is
bell.
about notifications.
Yep.
We know about that.
Always remember, dare, try something new.
Yes.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers. Salud.
Salud.
Oh my God, I gotta pee. No, I mean like really, I gotta pee.
He did. He walked out the door.
Oh, well.
He walked out of the studio.
He's gone.
All right.
I guess we got to shut everything down.
Right. Okay, let's go
All
do
right.
it.